Yay, everybody! I just beat Bioshock, and it was so cool. Okay, this is Gotta Love Breath, and welcome back to the Dr. Breath program. I'm going to try to do as many of these as I can. I'm kind of setting it up like this. Real video of me blabbing about something. Q&A video. Video, Q&A video. Video, Q&A video. So, you know, I've got a ton of questions now, so I've got a lot to work with. Until I run out, you guys really don't have to send me any more questions. Unless you have something that you really want to ask me, in which case, yeah, send, just leave questions. Whatever. I don't know why I'm making such a big deal about this. Control, constraint, whatever. Just leave the questions out there, and I'll answer them at some point, unless they're extremely, extremely offensive, which, Broken-Winged Demon, or I'm not sure whether it was him or Fatnik that sent me a question that was too crude to answer. So let's just get to it. This week's questions. PrimeSonic YT, which I assume is short for PrimeSonic YouTube, but I could be wrong, asks, what are your biggest time sinks? What do you think of cats? And what happened to your special lady friend? Lady friend, that's, Okay. First off, what are your biggest time sinks? Obviously, let me see, anime, video games, writing whenever I feel like it, which isn't very often. I go through phases where it'll be, oh, I'm really passionate about writing and I should turn this into my all-time passion. And then there's points where I'm like, you know what, screwed. I'd much rather play Bioshock or watch Toradora than write something that I'm not particularly proud of. Even though a lot of stuff I write is actually pretty good, I think it never comes out the way I want it to, and then I get frustrated and I start throwing a tantrum. Those are pretty much my biggest time sinks, other than, obviously, school, which is the ultimate time sink of all. But I don't see that as a time sink more than a time investment. Video games and anime, on the other hand, are just things I do to, keep myself from going insane. What do you think of cats? You know what, to be honest, I think cats are really boring. I have never been much of a cat person. They always kind of stare at you, and they're always so pissy and cranky, and they're not very playful. I prefer the dog sort of mentality. I'm more of a dog kind of guy in general. I tend to notice people who like cats are the more reserved types. They like the animal to be not so crazy and out there. Now with dogs, they're more like, they're playful, and they run around the house, and you get to pet them. At least the great dogs, like my dog, who's like the king of all dogs, by the way. He is the cutest darn thing on the face of the planet. I just love him. You sit down and you pet him, and he wicks you, and he's so cute. Cats, on the other hand, besides kittens, cats are kind of just like little bastards, at least from my experience. It's not that I dislike cats, it's just that I wouldn't want one because they're cranky and moody and uninteresting. Yeah, they can basically go to hell. I don't mean your cat specifically, PrimeSonic, because I know you love your kitty very, very much. What happened to your special lady friend? What little special lady friend? I didn't have a special lady friend that I made a blog post about that was insanely creepy. I'll tell you what, just to protect her identity and everything, and to protect, I'm not going to say too much about it. Things just didn't work out. It was really fun while it lasted. I'm really glad that I went through with it, but things didn't work out for whatever reason. I'm not going to go into specifics. La, la, la. I really want to, though. Now I want to be like, yeah, you know what? Here's what went down, you see. She was cheating with some other guy, and I was like, go to hell. And then she was like, no, you go to hell. And then I cheated with Yuki Nagado, and she was like, how dare you do that? And I was like, no, I cheated because you cheated. Then she shot my head off. But that's not what happened, so. Darky Ori. Sometimes I come up with some of the weirdest stuff comes out of my mind. Dark Eori 87 asks, I sure hope I said his name right. It's DARKIORI 87. He asks, what anime inspires you to continue watching anime, and do you tend to watch more of the overrated anime shows or the underrated shows? All right, to answer your first question about what anime inspires me to continue watching anime, there's really no anime that inspires me to keep watching more than I just love anime, and I pretty much, for the most part, like whatever I watch, even if I'm overly picky about it. For the most part, I just love the art style and everything. But the anime that inspired me to continue watching anime initially was Full Metal Alchemist, which is easily is my favorite anime show, period. I just love the heck out of that show. It was deep, it was philosophical, it was funny, it was tense, it was romantic, it was everything I loved. Everything that I ended up falling in love with about anime was in Full Metal Alchemist. And it was the first anime show I had watched all the way through outside of Hayao Miyazaki. And that's what really drew me into it. That's what made me pursue watching other shows. That's what pursued me into watching pretty much the whole genre in general. And I was about to give up at one point. I had watched a couple other shows on Adult Swim, and I was just like, yeah, outside of Full Metal Alchemist, maybe I'm just not that into it, until I met this one girl who inspired me to watch further. I was really into her at that point, and I was talking about all these shows. And she was like, oh, you've only watched Full Metal Alchemist? And I was like, yeah, for the most part. And she listed off all these shows I needed to watch, and that's what led me into my whole really deeper fascination. And I think, I'm trying to remember like the second, third, and fourth show I watched. Ouran High School Host Club, I think, was like the third anime I had finished all the way through, and I loved the heck out of that. Pretty much Studio Bones was what really grabbed me into anime. Eureka 7, Full Metal Alchemist, Ouran High School Host Club, all those shows are what really nailed me to the anime dork wall. But for the most part, there's no real specific show that inspires me to continue watching more than I know that there's going to be another great show out there. And I love the anime storytelling style. I love the art. I love everything about it, really. And that's what inspires me to keep going. Not any specific show, but the fact that I know there's going to be some other great show out there that I'm missing out on. Okay, and your next question. Do you tend to watch more of the overrated shows or the underrated shows? No, you see, I tend to watch the shows that I think I'm going to enjoy. I don't sit down and go, all right, now am I going to watch an overrated show or am I going to watch an underrated show? I mean, that's just not the way I do things. But for the most part, I think I tend to watch more of the overrated shows because obviously those are the ones you hear the most about. I'm going to sit down and watch those because people say that they're good. The underrated shows, on the other hand, I've seen quite a few of those too, like Kino's Journey and quite a few kind of understated shows that I think should be overstated or stated more so. Kino's Journey is by far one of my favorites. I just love the hell out of that show. And there's a few shows that are overrated that I think are personally underrated. But now we're just going into personal opinion. No, I don't. I try to balance it out a bit. I'm not leaning towards one side here where I only watch what is popular. I watch what catches my attention, and sometimes that's an underrated show, and sometimes, it's an overrated show. This is Gotta Love Breath, and I am signing out. Short people got no reasons. Short people got no reasons not to send me a comment and some questions. Hey, and BioShock is an awesome game. You should all play it.